That's actually a Ricky Caruth line. Is there anything in the world I can do to help you? Right? Again, gotta give props.
Who?
Ricky Caruth.
Is it
Caruth.
an influencer? He sounds like he's from the Sandlot.
I would say he's an influencer on social media. He used to be a Remax agent. He's now an EXP agent.
Ooh. New hotness.
Right? But that's his line, right? Like, what in the world can I do for you? Right?
Welcome to the Rains Report with your host, Jason Rains.
What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Rains Report on podcast here, and then we also shoot video on these and put them out on YouTube on Saturday. So if YouTube's more your thing, you can find this on Moving to Kansas City, Jason Rains. So, but today, the way we've been doing these is the ones that we release. We release one that's more like buyer seller kind of orientated, and then one kind of more for like industry, like agents, like things like that, right? So
one for them, one for me. That's your motto.
One for them, one for us.
Sure. I'm not an agent, but
hey,
I'll
used
take
to
it.
be. You used to be an agent.
In spirit, I'm an agent.
Right. So, guys, before we get started, this is the agent version today for those of you in the real estate industry. But before we get started, guys, make sure to subscribe to the podcast channel or YouTube, whichever you're on. Hit that notification bell on YouTube so you're notified every time I drop a new video. And let's get into it. So today for agents, we're going to talk about listings and how to utilize listings to get more listings. Hey, more business, right?
Yep.
Crazy. That's what we want. Yes?
Yeah.
Now,
Always.
before we get started, I'm using training that I've learned at Remax Elite with my broker, David Nichols, to kind of go over this. So this is stuff that he has taught me that I'm going to share with everybody else. So I want to give credit where credit's due before we got kicked.
I like
here,
that.
So.
Yeah.
But I have used this and it does work. So,
Yeah.
I feel like it. I don't know if it makes me an expert on it yet, but definitely gives me enough knowledge to kind of share with others and get them started. And, if they want more info, they can reach out.
Pay it forward.
Yeah. Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, well, what's funny before you get to that is I think a lot of times agents are afraid to share with other agents because they're afraid that other people will use the stuff that they're saying and it'll take business away from them.
Flip it against them. Yep.
They'll just take business away.
Yeah.
Right. But I think if you have an abundance mindset, I can't help every single seller that's out there that needs to sell their house. So if I share something with you and you get a listing out of it, I'm sure I might have got that listing, but odds are I probably wouldn't have got that listing anyway.
Yeah.
Again, I can't help every single person that needs help.
Yeah.
Right. So again, having that abundance mindset I think is huge in real estate, and just being willing to help people and everything comes back around. Right. So, when we start talking about listings, I think that a lot of times, especially over the past couple years, you didn't really have to do a whole lot, right? Throw the sign in the yard, throw some pictures up that you took with your celly phone. And I know you guys
took with us.
You guys always promote the cell phone usage. Agents just doing it themselves, right?
You got it.
Yeah. I got an Android.
Don't pay us.
I don't even have an iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm doing it with my Android.
Well, there's a certain geographic area that we would not go to that I would recommend you just bring.
Hey,
we have our little bubble, and then outside of that, we say just bring your phone.
Yeah.
You can do this.
You're probably not going to Trenton, Missouri, are you?
Price is right. You have to pay like
right.
3 travel fees.
But, I think that a lot of agents were just doing that. And yes, we're not even talking about selling the house and how to get the most money for your listing on that. This is more geared towards how can we, when we get a listing, what can we do to not only try to draw attention to that listing, but almost use that listing as a way to further market ourselves to get more listings, right?
Yep.
So when we start talking about once we get a listing, who is it that we're trying to share that listing with, right? Like, what are the different groups and categories of people that we could share that listing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have our sphere of influence, right? We have our past clients. We have our social media followings. We have the neighbors of that listing. And then we have just the general public, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be everyone else that isn't associated with the address and we don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Associated with the address would be the neighbors or the
Yep.
neighborhood, right?
Yep.
People we're associated with, past clients, sphere of influence, social media people, right?
PC, SOL, SMP.
Yeah. So SOI is sphere of influence, right?
Yeah.
Those people that are maybe your advocates, but aren't your past clients, right? But
Mm-hmm.
your friends that maybe they haven't moved in 10 years, but they promote the heck out of you and send you referrals.
Yeah.
Right. That'd be our a sphere of influence type person,
Yeah.
right? Or your close group of friends or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it might be, right? Those are your sphere of influence people. And then general public is just everybody else in the general area that you have no clue who they are and they're not a neighbor of the house, right? So those are really the 5 groups of people that we can focus on contacting
Mm-hmm.
for every listing we have. Okay. But how do we contact those people? Like, what are the best ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways to contact each group. Some of them are the same and overlap,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you're not gonna text the general public.
Nope.
You don't got their phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
But you could send a text message to all your past clients, letting them know that, hey, I got this listing, right?
Yeah.
What would be the point of that though? Why would we text our past clients to let them know, hey, we got a new listing?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
But is it?
I don't
Like,
know.
from a marketing standpoint, right?
Yeah.
They know we're staying busy.
True.
They know we're still in the game of real estate,
Yeah.
right? A lot of times agents who don't do a great job of staying in touch with their clients, it might be 10 years, they've fallen out of touch and their clients like, oh man, Jason did a great job selling our house last time. I don't even know if he's still in real estate. Well, they don't know because we
Yeah.
haven't stayed in contact
Yeah,
with them,
true.
right? So we're using that listing as a reason to stay engaged and stay in contact
Mm-hmm.
with our past clients.
True.
Right? And you never know. They might know someone that's looking to move to Kansas City or looking to
Yeah,
move
that's
into that neighborhood. Right?
Is that how you'd reach out in that situation? Like, not just saying like, got a new listing, bud, check it out, but more like, hey, got a new listing. If you know anybody.
Yeah. So I
me a
literally
shout.
just did this last week.
Mm-hmm.
An agent in our office had a listing in a neighborhood in Lee Summit,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of my past clients live in that neighborhood now.
Oh,
Right?
nice.
They bought in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I sent them a text saying, hey, Bob, made up name. Hey, Bob, protect the innocent, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, our office is listing a new house at 123 Main Street. Just letting you know, if you know any buyers that are not any buyers, if you have any friends that have been looking to move into the neighborhood, share this link with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I dropped the link in the text, and it was the link back to my website that had the listing on it. It was that specific listing,
Mm-hmm.
URL. If they have any questions, have them reach out. Now, maybe their friend that's looking to move in already has an agent, but what if they don't?
Yeah.
Maybe I can represent that person.
So that's
But
like,
also,
yeah.
you're letting that person know that, hey, I'm still in real estate,
yeah, true.
right?
Neighbor by proxy, basically.
Yeah,
'Cause the
and that's-
agent
and that's
lists
just
the
a-
house, but
a-
you use it to.
Yes, I was going to say that's just a text, right? That's
Yeah.
just one of the ways we make contact. Our office is a little unique. Typically in real estate, different MLSs might have different interpretations of this rule.
Mhm.
It's actually a National Association of Realtor rule. They do not have different interpretations of their
That
own rule. They
governs
have
the nation.
this is their rule, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard from other agents in different states, oh, well, our MLS interprets it this way. Hey, that's great until someone in your MLS complains
Mhm.
and files a complaint, and then you find out you're wrong, but whatever. But typically, you can't promote in another agent's listings without that agent's permission,
Okay.
right? Like
Okay.
if I call you up and I'm like, hey, you got this new listing over here. Would you mind if I promote it? Majority of the time now, especially that we're kind of moving away from a seller's market,
Mhm.
that listing agent's more than likely to be like, hey man, that's great. I just want to sell the house. Whatever exposure I can get, that's awesome. The market we were coming from didn't happen quite as much because they're like, I don't need your help promoting it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be our contract in a day or two anyway, right? And I don't want
Disallow.
you using my business to try to gain business for yourself.
Because it's effective. Like, that's the weird part,
Yeah.
is that I know agents, and since I was an agent, I know that that's how it works, but before I was an agent, I didn't realize it, and
Yeah.
when I was, like, training to become one, I'd followed a couple of people, I'd seen how often they posted, like, "Hey, got this great listing in Lee Summit, so give me a call if you wanna come check it out," and then it would happen, like, 5 times a day. I'm like, "This person is killing it."
Yeah.
And then you come to realize, oh, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're taking
You're supposed to, even if that agent gives you permission,
Mhm.
you're supposed to put their name, listing provided by Jason Rains,
Yeah.
Remax Lee Realtors.
And maybe they would just put it at the bottom of that post.
They would bury it within a
just space it.
paragraph,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
bury it within a paragraph,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Like
Yeah.
it'd be in the middle of the paragraph.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to get permission. You're supposed to list their name. I know a ton of agents, especially when you start getting in these Facebook groups,
Mhm.
these local Facebook groups. There's no way they're getting permission for these houses.
I can see
But
that.
they're also the only person that can file the complaint is the listing agent. So
Yeah.
the listing agent has to find out about
Who
it,
doesn't follow
then
them
file
and
the then
doesn't
file the
yeah.
complaint or file the complaint, and then they would tell the first agent to take it down.
Yeah.
Odds of that happening are not
Yeah.
high, right?
So I think that's why
So
you
they're
see
just
it
getting
just
away with
tossed
it, right?
around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our brokerage is unique in that I would say, let's say I think we have like 60, 65 agents somewhere in there at my brokerage, and all but like 3 or 4 are in agreement with each other that, hey, you can take whatever listing I have, you can advertise it however you want to. Not only do you not need my permission because you already have my permission, it's just a blanket rule within amongst these 60 plus agents.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to ask. You already have permission. You don't even have to say it's my listing. You can treat it as your own, do whatever you want, market it however you want to.
Really?
That's just what it is at our brokerage, right?
It's pretty wild. Can you field offers?
No, well, I mean,
say, I've got this
yeah,
listing.
no, they would have to. I mean, you could. And I had an agent email me last week and was like, hey, is this your listing over here at this address? And so I called him. I was like, no, it's actually so-and-so's listing. Have you been able to get a hold of her? Like, I was going to help communicate whatever questions he had. He's like, oh yeah, no, it's good. I was just curious. I'm like, here's how I'm able to do that. That's what we do at our brokerage, right? But so on ours, it's a little bit different. But so let's get back to, we have those groups. How can we reach out to each group, right? And some of these overlap, but some of them we would use on one group versus another group, right? So we can call. We can text, we can do mailers, we can do social media, right? Like all of those are just 4 ways right there. There's a couple more, but then you almost create like a line graph. And so you have a column of your groups of people, and then you have a column of different ways to contact them and inform them of this new listing. And then you're just basically doing the old line graph where you draw lines from, okay, I can use this, connect to this person, this person, this person, this group, and this one to connect to this group and that group, and this one connect to this group and that group and this group, right? And then you have, okay, now which ones do I want to use? And some that's going to be dependent on property, right? If you have a $100,000 listing in, I'm not even going to name a city because I don't want to make him mad. But let's say you have a $100,000 listing in a not great part of the greater Kansas City area, right? And you have a $500,000 listing in a really, really nice neighborhood. Are you going to spend the same amount of money on each of those as far as, and I'm not saying advertising,
Mm-mm.
I'm saying, are you going to spend the same amount of money in efforts to get more listings near that listing?
No.
Probably not. You're going to spend more money on the $500,000 one. You want to
Mhm.
list, you want more of those listings than you do the $100,000 listings, right?
Yep.
And so you might do, hey, I'm not going to do mailers on this property over here, but I will do mailers on this property over here, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to go through and, or maybe the location or the price point, or the other factors that make that home desirable, right? You look at that and you say, okay, is this a property I want to do all these things on, or just these things on, or is it an in-between property? So I'll do some of this stuff that I do on this one, and I'll do a little bit more than I do on this one over here.
Mhm.
And once you figure that out, then you know which ways you want to contact people, figure out which groups you're going to contact.
Yeah.
And then you go back to your graph and you go over here and you just say, I'm going to do this for this and this, and I'm going to connect to this group. I'm going to run Facebook ads. That'd
Mhm.
be a way to contact the general public, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a special category now on Facebook, has been for a while.
Mhm.
You have to click that housing button for a special ad category. Otherwise, they will decline your post.
Oh, I see.
And when you go in and try to edit it, most of the times they still decline. You have to start over with your ad, right? So make sure
Yeah.
you check that special housing.
And those are targeted ads,
Yeah,
right? You
special
could pick who
category
you're-
housing.
Yeah.
Well, the only way you can target now on the housing is you can drop your pin wherever you want to. It's a minimum 15-mile radius.
Yep.
You cannot go any smaller than 15 miles.
Okay.
So anyone that has traveled through that area, lives in that area, works in that area, or like I said, has just traveled through that area,
Mhm.
that's who will have the opportunity to see your sponsored ad that you
Mhm.
created via Facebook, right? But again, that's the general public in that area, right?
And so maybe the higher your listing price, the more money you would put towards that.
Probably.
Where
yeah.
if you get like a $2 million listing, are you buying billboards? You're gonna buy
Probably
Super Bowl
not.
ads.
Probably not, right?
Heck yeah.
But again, I think that's just goes back to your whole marketing part of
Yeah,
your
oh, yeah.
marketing campaign, right? And we've done a lot of listing videos,
Mhm.
right? And some of the videos I'm in, and some of them I'm not.
Yeah.
And sometimes agents might say, "Well, man, it seems like you didn't really focus on the property.
Mhm.
Like you were in as much of the video as the property was featured, right?"
Mhm.
Well, again, I'm marketing myself at the same time as I'm marketing
Yeah.
the property, right? I'm getting more eyes on the
Mhm.
property, but I'm also getting more eyes on me. Do I do a listing video on $100,000 house? Not typically, right? I
No.
have a certain price point where I'm like, okay, this is where I start doing this stuff at, right?
Yeah.
Do I do them on a $500,000 house? Every single time,
Yeah.
right? Every
yeah.
single house, right? So again, you're utilizing the listing to market yourself in order to get your name out there and get more
Yeah.
listings, right?
Mhm.
But I think that's where a lot of agents miss the opportunity of, hey, I got this new listing. That's great. I'm going to get it sold. Well, why not use that listing to go get 3 more listings?
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're at a brokerage where you can promote other people's listings as well,
Mhm.
like we can, and you can only promote your own. Well, now you get one and you're not even using it to try to go get more listings.
Yeah.
Right? We know that a large percentage of, it's like 80%. I could be off on that number. I'm going to say 80%, right?
Okay.
Good thing about stats is 97% of them are made up.
Yeah.
I'm joking,
go.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there's an 80% chance of, and I think that's the right number, but 80% chance that 3 of the closest 50 people, 50 homes to that listing will think about selling in the next 30 days.
Okay.
Like that's an actual stat, right?
We can see
So
that.
you get a listing, the closest 50 houses, there's an 80% chance that 3 of those people will think about selling in the next 30 days.
Hmm.
Why are we not contacting those 50 people around that listing then?
Yeah. We
Right?
are.
they're thinking about
Yeah.
selling their house.
Yeah.
They're at least thinking about it because they saw the sign in the yard. So they're like, man, maybe we should sell. And that's what you see, like when a house pops up, how often within the next 30 days you drive down the street and you're like, oh man, now that house is on the market. Oh, now that house is on the market. They come in clusters for a reason like
Yeah.
that, right? It just goes back and kind of proves that statistic
Now,
made up of 80%. But
How do you do that with the neighbors in that area? Do you
Okay.
do
You
the
could-
mailers?
you could do mailers, right?
Probably easiest. Is that right?
Super easy, right?
Okay.
Throw a QR code on there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Have them scan it and it takes them to the landing page or
Does that
whatever you created for that listing.
Is that mailers in the sense that you actually send them via mail, or do you
Yeah.
just go door to door and like?
No,
hang
send it
something?
like
Okay.
send them via mail,
Okay.
right? We could door knock.
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but what is the you have to have a purpose in everything you do,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So you can't just knock, knock, knock. Hey, thinking about selling your house?
Yeah.
I know 3 of you are thinking about it,
True.
right? No.
one of the 3?
Are you one of those 3? No.
Don't waste my time.
Right? So again, what is the purpose of the door knock? What are we trying to accomplish? Well, we know we're trying to accomplish more business, but we have to have a reason for knocking, right?
Mhm.
So maybe you center the door knocking around the open house that you're gonna do,
There you go.
right? Knock,
Mhm.
knock, knock. Hey, Bob. Hey, whatever. I don't know your name. 'Cause
Bob
you just
again?
answered the door, right? I don't even know your name. Hey, my name's Jason. I'm with Remax. I'm just knocking on all the neighbors' doors. Let them know I listed this house down the street and I'm doing an open house this weekend. I just want to give you a flyer on it. So you have the information. If you know anyone looking to move into the neighborhood, maybe let them know. I would love for you to stop by as well, Mr. Neighbor, Mrs. Neighbor, so you can just see it, see what you think of the place. Maybe you can give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about the price, the condition of the home, whatever. Would love for you to stop by. And if you see anything going on over the house that looks maybe suspicious, like maybe, you see a random car there late at night or something, here's my contact information. Please just keep an eye on it maybe and let me know if you see anything that looks kind of strange,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was my reason for knocking on the door.
And then you go there that night and like be strange
No,
so that
I
they
don't-
call you.
No, I don't know about that. It might work. You find out if they
Something
were
strange is going
they're
on.
gonna look out.
Well, I got
But-
you.
But that was the reason for knocking.
Mm-hmm.
But we also just introduced ourselves. We let him know we have a listing. How many other people have knocked on his door talking about their listings? Probably not very many because nobody does it, right?
Yeah.
Very few. And so we've now placed ourselves at the top of his mind as far as real estate agents who are selling in that neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now he's got a flyer in the mail. We've knocked on his door to tell him about the open house. Maybe he didn't answer. We rolled up the flyer we had and stuck it in like the door handle or whatever.
I get those.
He's still going to see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe we call the closest 50 people too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we send out the flyer. Maybe we send out the flyer, and really that should be being done before the house even goes on the market. That should be a coming soon flyer, right?
Okay.
Hey, coming soon next week, hitting the market in your
You know
neighborhood,
anybody?
right?
Yep.
Here's a QR code. Get all the information here or whatever. Let me know if you have any questions. In our MLS, we can advertise coming soons,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where everyone's listening to this podcast.
Is that a new thing? As of like a couple of years ago, it feels like it is. But I'm
The
not
rules
sure.
always change a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now, we can advertise coming soons, but not every MLS has those. And some say it's a violation of their rules and you can't do it.
Maybe there's something to do with signs, because I just remember a couple of years ago they started doing signs with coming soon, and I think
Yeah.
before that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't.
You could only do it like 2 days before the
Okay.
listing or something like that.
because now
Yeah.
they can actually they have the riders that say coming soon. And I
Yeah.
think before they couldn't
Yeah.
say that.
So mate, you send out that postcard to the closest 50 people a week before your house even goes on the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
House goes on the market. Now I'm calling the closest 50 people. Hey, I don't know if you got the flyer I sent out about the house coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the market. Just want to let all the neighbors know. Hey, do you have any questions? Is there anything in the world I can do to help you? Right? That's actually a Ricky Caruth line. Is there anything in the world I can do to help you? Right? Again, gotta give props.
Who
Ricky Caruth.
is it?
Caruth.
An influencer? He sounds like he's from the Sandlot.
I would say he's an influencer on
Okay.
social media. He used to be a Remax agent. He's now an EXP agent.
Ooh,
Ooh, drama.
new hotness.
Right? But that's his line, right? Like, what in the world can I do for you, right?
Okay. Now you say, what in the universe can I do for you?
The universe, right? Even
Well,
bigger, right?
let's go.
No, but hey, what can I do to help? Just calling all the neighbors, let them know that I sent out the flyer. The house is coming soon. It's now on the market. Want to know if you have any questions? Is there anything to do for you? Do you know anyone that's looking to move into the neighborhood? Maybe you can pass along that info about the house.
Mhm.
We're now live, right? And then just see where the conversation goes from there. And then a few days later, knock, knock, knock. Hey, I know I talked to you on the phone. You got the mailer. We're doing open house this weekend. Just letting all the neighbors know we'll be in the area.
Mhm.
We'd love for you to pop by, take a look. Don't need to set an appointment. We're there from 1 to 4, 11 to 2, whatever your open house
Mhm.
time is, right? You've now made contact with that person 3 times, potentially,
Yeah.
within a week and a half. No way you're not at the top of their mind.
True.
And if we know that 80% chance, there's an 80% chance that 3 of them are going to think about selling the next 30 days, who are they thinking about? You've talked to them 3 times in 10 days.
And they probably, if you've marketed it on social media and
They've
done other
probably
things, they've
seen
probably seen that too.
it. It's popped up on their phone because they're within
They're
that
getting too
15
much of
mile
you.
range.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as too
I
much
know.
of me. Get out of here.
They saw your airplane
Right.
flyers.
But that's what I'm talking about. That is using your listing to get more business.
Mhm.
That was the neighbor aspect.
Yeah.
Right. That's just that aspect. General public, yes, it's more name recognition. You're just getting the listing out there. Somebody might pop into the open house, or they might, you're trying to get a buyer that you can help, whatever. Oh yeah, I really like this house. I want to buy it. Oh, I need to sell my house. Can you help me there? Absolutely, right.
Yeah.
Back to your clients again, you're letting them know that you're staying in business.
Yeah.
I mean, literally on our last break, I mentioned off camera here or off podcast, whatever you want to say. I have a buyer that's looking for a townhouse. I mentioned them in a I think in our previous podcast, and I have a past client that owns a townhouse in the area that these people are looking to buy, right?
Mhm.
So I sent him a text. Hey, thought about selling your house in XYZ neighborhood? I have clients that are looking in the area. That's me notifying. I'm not even using my listing now. That's just me staying in touch, trying to help my buyer client. What's he messaging me back? No. And in fact, I want to buy 2 more. Hey, bro, let's go. Like, same neighborhood. You open to different neighborhoods. I'll keep my eye out.
And you said, okay, good luck with that.
No, I said, I'll keep my eye out for you. Let's do this, right? So now I know that I just used that situation of trying to find a buyer house and end up getting another buyer that wants to buy 2 more properties.
Yeah.
If I didn't reach out to that past client, I wouldn't know that he's looking to buy 2 more properties.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have that opportunity to help him get 2 more properties.
When there's an attitude and a drive that comes with this, right? You would say if you even have like an inkling that you might send a text to somebody or maybe this would help, just do it. Yeah.
Just send it.
Because I think there's a lot of people out there that are like, that's kind of, it's not going to come, nothing's going to come of it. So whatever. But you've had some random things happen, right? Where it's just like, I might as well do this. And then it works out.
I don't know if it's random. It's almost like a calculated, hey, if you do this, this tends to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So why not do it? This tends to happen.
Yeah.
Right? But when we send out the listing, our listing to our clients, we're just letting them know, hey, we're still in business. Right? We're still here. Again, we're not being like, hey, I'm still selling real estate. I just got this listing. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
Aren't I good?
Yeah.
No, that's not the point of the text. The point of text is, hey, maybe they do have a buyer or a friend that's looking to buy the neighborhood, but we're also subtly reminding them that, hey, we're still in business.
Yeah, we got this thing going.
Right? Like, we're still working, right? We're still out here. We're still able to help.
I'm good at what I do. Like, here's
yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know. Some people might have that attitude. That's not my attitude going into it, right? So that's your attitude.
That's what mine would be. I'm good at what I do, and I'm keeping up with the market.
Yeah,
so.
I'm keeping up, right?
Because the market keeps changing. There's ebbs and flows. You want people to know that you're staying consistent.
Yeah.
In all of that.
Yeah.
So
that's the message versus, oh, look at me, aren't I good? I'm
Yeah.
selling lots of real estate, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the words that are used.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm still out here. I'm still staying busy.
Mhm.
I'm up to date on the market. I know what's going on. I
Mhm.
would love to help you however I can.
Yep.
Versus, I got a listing. I'm great.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. You have to find a way to relay the second part in an eloquent way, such as the first part.
Yes.
Put that nugget in their brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this is for the agents out there. I think the underlying principle is you want to let people know that you are good. But the way you do that is by saying, hey, I've got this.
Yeah.
You sneak in, like, if you got any
Yep.
referrals, let me know. But then you basically say, you know, I'm doing business and I'm doing business in every market.
Yep. And you know, we're texting our client. So if we're texting our past client that we know lives in the neighborhood, if you got friends that live in the neighborhood and they're in your SOI and you have their phone number,
Mm-hmm.
why not send them the same text message?
Yeah.
It's the same message, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we hope our SOI uses us in the future.
Yeah.
If not, they at least refer us,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why they're in our sphere of influence. If they're not referring us and they're not using us, maybe we should take them out of our sphere of influence.
Yeah, true.
List, right? I mean,
Because you build a list. Like you have
build
a physical list.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a list.
That's another thing for agents.
Yeah.
Lists.
Build a list of clients, a list of
spreadsheets.
sphere of influence, and then figure out ways to stay in touch with them. That could be a whole nother podcast, right?
Are you proficient in
Yeah,
Excel?
there will be another podcast.
Yeah. Oh, we could do that.
Never know, right? Different ways to stay in touch with your clients.
I like that.
Coming in the next 2 weeks.
Coming 2023.
To the Reigns Report.
Yeah.
Right? How to stay in touch with your clients.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a list on Google Sheets or whatever, just so I can access from any device.
I was wondering, do you use Excel? Do you use?
But then we have hopefully agents out there have a CRM that they use, a customer or a client relationship management database, right? We use KV Core at our office. We've been using it for like 18 months. So pretty.
I've heard that a lot since we started recording. It must be a nice, handy tool.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Remax is actually rolling it out company wide.
Oh, you guys were a test?
No, we just wanted to use it in our office, so we started using it. And then
okay.
Fast forward 18 months, and Remax is like, we're rolling this out to all Remaxes across the country.
Did you say, okay, pay us for the idea then?
Right.
We got the IP.
No. But, you know, I think that, again, that's going back to, well, if we're doing it for our past clients, where we can do it with our SOI, that's where that kind of table line graph thing happens, because we're like, we did this for past clients, and we can do this for our sphere of influence also. And maybe we post it on social media, and that's our sphere of influence is seeing that. We can do a paid ad on Facebook. Our sphere might see that, they might not, depending on where they work and live and spend their time.
Yeah.
But the general public sees that. And we got the mailers, and we got phone calls, and we got text messages, and we can do open houses. Again, probably not doing an open house for the $100,000 house in the not so nice part of town. But maybe I am for the $200,000 house in a little nicer part of town, right? It just depends. That's the great thing, is you can pick and choose. Yes, you're advertising the property, and you're promoting the property, you're marketing the property. But this is more of how to use that property to market yourself and get yourself more listings.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, you can pick and choose what you want to do based on whatever criteria you come up with to try to generate more business for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't want to do this, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable picking up the phone and calling people, the neighbors, maybe leave that off. I would say, why does it matter? Would be my comeback to that. I think we talked about cold calling already.
Yeah, I'm
in
uncomfortable
the past.
with it.
They don't know you.
I know.
Like,
but I know me.
But if they get mad at you, who cares, right? You're never going to talk to them again.
Man, you got to think a certain way with that, though. And you think the right way.
Well,
but I think the wrong way, where I do take it personal, even if it's somebody I don't know.
Again, I think I mentioned this on a different one. Being 15 years in law enforcement,
yeah,
I think
true.
I just learned to not give a shit
You
what
got
people
the right
think,
mindset.
right? Like, a lot of people didn't like me in that job, and you had to just be like, whatever, I don't care, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, again, oh man, what is the quote I really like on this?
Don't put Twinkies on your pizza.
That's definitely not the quote I was thinking of.
That's from Heavyweights.
What is it? It's something along the lines of, and I think I got this from Brad Lea, since I'm trying to make sure I give credit where credit's due on TikTok. The real Brad Lea, Lea. Yes, I want to be liked, right? I think we all want to be liked. I just don't give a fuck if you don't like me. That was his line, right? So yes, I want to be liked. I just don't give a fuck if you don't like me. And yes and no, but that if you have that attitude on the phone, yeah, I want you to like me. I want to be able to help you. But if you get mad, I don't care.
Yeah.
You're not we would have never done business anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So if you get mad and you hang up the phone and you yell at me, next.
And it's, you are good at resetting too. So if a call like that goes down, you could probably just brush it off and move on to the next one.
Next.
See, I don't have that same mindset.
Yeah.
I have a tough time with it.
Yeah.
If somebody like shrugs me off, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to think about this.
Yeah. On the next call.
Week and a half.
And then it's going to affect you on the next call, and the next call, and the
then
next
you're just
call.
falling over. Hey,
yeah. Don't be mad I called you.
Yeah.
But I'm calling because I'm selling your neighbor's house, and I just, you know. Yeah.
And really, I guess you probably also have to think that most people are going to be nice. Nobody's out there to be mean to you.
Most people are nice,
and so they'll find a way. Even if they want to get you off the phone, they'll find a way to do it more.
Or they'll just hang up
casually. Or honestly, I would rather have that.
Yeah.
Than the alternative.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that to kind of recap, and again, we could probably go on and on about this, but I think that use that listing, write down the 5 groups of people that you can contact, write down the 5 different ways they can be contacted, and then draw those lines back and forth on, hey, this works for this group. Obviously, I'm not sending postcards to the general public.
Yeah.
That's not an effective way, right? I'm not calling the general public from 15 miles away from the house.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, right? So find which way works for each group or each reason for contacting people, and then figure out what you want to do based on the criteria you come up for that property, and then do those things. And that's how you generate more listings based on the listing that you have.
How many? You said there were 5 groups or 5?
Yep.
We do like a 5-part one, focus on each one. Not yet. Come back around to it. That'd be neat.
Maybe. Yeah. We might have to go 2. I don't know if we could get a full podcast segment
on certain
ones. You
Which
know what I
ones?
mean? For a full podcast on how to contact the general public.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
might not get a full podcast on that. But I would say that if somebody watched this, hopefully they found it helpful. Hopefully they can put these things into play to try to generate more business based on the listings they have. Or maybe, talk to your broker and talk to the agents in your office and say, hey, I know there's brokerages out there that don't need permission to advertise each other's listings. Can we do something the same way? Right? Can we market them as our own to try to generate more business for ourselves? Right?
Yeah.
But if you can't, at least take the listing that you have and put these steps into play to try to generate more business for yourself, so that you can succeed and stay in real estate longer and be able to help more people in the future.
Yeah.
Right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, obviously. Give me a call, shoot me a text, email. All the information's here on the podcast or YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and notify.
Yeah. Watch the video too.
Yeah.
We put some effort into this studio. Let's get some.
Yeah, it looks good in
Let's
here,
get
right?
some views.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. Until next time, have a good day.
Bye.
The Rains Report is brought to you weekly by Juke Media. Look for episodes every Friday wherever you download podcasts. And remember to rate and subscribe for more content.